said at the beginning of the call that we were going to touch on mobility as well. So I don't have like a very specific question there. I just want to hear your thoughts because I know that this is just a chapter that you just finished in the book.
So here's the thing. Whenever we talk about certain words, we have to break it down to, okay, what does it actually mean and what can I do to improve it? And I don't care what the name of the word is. It comes down to, okay, what do I need to do? And is that working what I'm currently doing? So the state of the art now in mobility is something like whatever textbook definition, like range of motion of joints, range of motion under tension, however you want to call it. It doesn't matter because what matters is what can I literally do to improve, to get stronger. That's the only thing we care about. We don't do mobility work for the sake of getting more mobile. It has to serve a purpose of being able to engage the big muscle groups which move the big bones in our body. That's it. So the state of the art right now is, and that's where I fundamentally disagree, starting with is most mobility work is about less tension. So you're starting a session in mind that you have to, whatever, get your shoulder further back and get more range of motion. Or I don't know, free up your hips because your hips are stiff, which is, I get what it is coming from, but training can never start with training for less tension, because that's what we're going to need afterwards, right? We want to get stronger. So the whole point here is we can summarize working on mobility, which is now working on less tension. We can summarize technique work, which is literally to work on positions, and we can summarize strength exercises, which is, well, getting more tension in them, plus getting more specific tension in, which is assistance work right now. We can all sum this up in one thing, which is learning position with tension, which means learning big muscle tension plus learning big bone group positions. Once you combine those two skills, you can tick off all the other boxes, whether that's mobility, whether that's strength, whether that's technique. It's literally all the same, and we don't have to break it up. So it will save you time and energy for your training session. I think where mobility literally comes from is pro athletes using this as recovery tools. They're not doing this for getting stronger. This is nonsense. So if you want to do your mobility work as you do it right now, if you have too much time, which is fine, do it at the end of your session. The whole point about this is, okay, we want to train on having less tension in small muscles and more tension in big muscles. Because if you get more tension plus position in the big muscles in, that will automatically reduce tension in the small muscles. So we can skip all those exercises. Practical example, why is your hip flexor tight? Because I see a lot of people like stretching their hips and doing all kind of weird 90-90 hip mobility stuff. What is the main reason why your hip is stiff? What we've seen is once you start developing, and that's going back to the muscle jobs, your glutes in all three different muscle jobs, reducing tension, absorbing tension, stabilizing tension, the smaller muscles can actually start to relax. You can also do this manually, right? That's what physiotherapy is about. That's what sitting or rolling on foam rollers, etc. It's more of a nervous system release than it's actually that what should be happening, which is, okay, less tension in small muscles, more tension in big muscles. Once you do that, there's a lot of problems that are going to disappear. So of course, stretching feels good, like short term. So do it afterwards. That's all good, but it's not gonna get you stronger or towards your goal of getting stronger. It's releasing tension, it's getting rid of tension in small muscles, but it's not gonna fix the original problem, which is you cannot produce, absorb, and stabilize tension in your glutes. That's the main issue, and that's what we need to work on. Let me finish this with very practical example. So let's take the glutes, and let's take 3 different exercises that you can do to stabilize, absorb, and produce tension. stabilizing is super simple. Any carry where you focus on getting a neutral hip in, that means just holding your booty squeezed while walking and while loaded heavy will do the trick. This is going to teach your glutes to hold the same fancy muscle length or whatever you want to call it. That's stabilizing. Get it as heavy as possible, get as much time under that tension as possible. Do any carry out there, do it heavy. Don't go more than 40 meters. If you go more than 40 meters, it's too light. Okay, the second one is absorbing tension. That's where beloved box squat comes in, where you literally train your hips going from here to that bench, like moving your hips away, using your hamstrings to absorb tension, putting the brakes on, eccentrically, it's all the same. That's why we focus so much on getting or holding your knees on top of your ankle. Because if your knees shoot forward, that means you're going to get rid of all the good tension that you're looking for. That's why position is so important, but just if you combine it with the right tension. And the last one is producing tension. My go-to is, and it's obviously in the temple as well, is the chainsaw rope pull, where you start teaching your glutes and hamstrings to produce tension. That means getting your hip from, where's the camera? Getting the hips from here towards the front. What do you want to call this? Hinging? What do you want to, I don't care. There's two things your hips need to do, which is going back, absorbing tension with your glutes and hamstrings, going forward, producing tension. That's it. That's all you need to learn.
And for everyone who might be wondering about your training, for instance, if you say that you don't do mobility, how do you start off your training? Because I know that for many people, that's kind of like the mobility is equally the warm up and it's like to get in there, but I know that you structure it very differently. But I would love if you could explain for people how you go about that.
Sure. So I start every single session with a general warm up, which is a 10-minute, whether it's rowing, step up, assault bike, ski erg session, where I literally focus on, okay, I go 10 minutes as hard as I can, but only breathing through my nose, right? That gives me really good sweat in. That's just call it a general warm up, right? So blood flow throughout the body. That keeps my mind going, but I get very focused on stuff because I'm not hyperventilating, but I'm setting my own pace to go as fast as possible without overpacing, which means I'm going to breathe in and out through my mouth. That's the first thing I'm gonna do, and then I'm just gonna start my normal training, which is typically I do the my focus of the day first, whether that's press, whether that's a box squat, whether that's flat work. I'll go right into it. There's no need for any other work before you get into it. So I do like one or two sets where I focus on, okay, I literally talk to myself and be like, okay, this is the position my hip needs to be in. This is the muscle I want to use with that job. That's literally what I'm telling myself before I start a box squat. This is the purpose. This is why I'm doing this. I'm going to take a video. And then I can work on whatever you want to call it, my mobility in a box squat, depending on where I'm at that day. It's like I can adjust the height, whether I go to full 90 degrees, whether I use more weight and come more up. So I'll train mobility and strength. For me, it's the same thing. I want to get more range of motion under tension while focusing on position with tension. That's how my training looks like. But trust me, I've done the normal stuff like mobility work like
I
for
just wanted
years.
to ask, in the past, was that always your approach? I guess not.
No, no, but I don't like doing stuff that doesn't make any sense in terms of seeing measurable results. Yes, I felt better. I could see short-term improvements in my range of motion, but the point is, um, when I went back the next session, I still had to do it, and I still sucked at it like almost exactly the same, which doesn't make any sense because if I do stuff, I want to get better at, and I'll do it like for 3 months and see just a short term improvement. I feel better, but the next time I'm starting from the same starting point. That didn't make any sense to me. And I actually figured it out for me once I started the box squatting like a year ago. because I never did mobility work after that, started box squatting, and accidentally improved my mobility. I have a hard time sitting in that paleo seat, that poop in the wood squat, like just relaxing your hips at the bottom and not lifting my heels up. And I heard like that's my ankle dorsiflexion problem, that's my tight hip flexor problem. I heard a lot of stuff and I did a lot of mobility exercises and zero worked. Zero. So I think it was a 10, 12 weeks in, and I accidentally did a poop in a wood squat in the gym. Don't worry. Because I had to pick something up, right? And I sat down and I was like, whoa, this feels totally different. Like this is not a position I could have achieved, especially during training, right? I didn't warm up, so to speak. I didn't do any mobility work. And I was like, wait, maybe that position with tension thing is not only working for getting stronger, but also getting more mobile. And over the years, over this year, I figured, okay, this is the same thing. Like if you want to work on your mobility, on your strength, it is literally the same thing. And that's how you can get more mobile and stronger at the same time, which is the holy grail, the epiphany of training. So you can save a lot of time, a lot of energy, and a lot of stupid exercises. Those exercises are not stupid; they have a purpose, but you don't have to do it. That's my point. If you want to do it, keep doing it. That's fine. It has a recovery effect, absolutely, but you don't have to do it. Save time and do stuff that actually makes you stronger.
But for everyone now wondering, is that actually something where you can say like from one day to the next, just skip it and proceed like you do now? Or would you say, was there kind of like I don't know, kind of like a period of where you slowly faded out of doing your usual warm-up, or did you just go like cold turkey?
Full cold turkey style, because if stuff doesn't make sense to me, I have to stop it immediately. That was also my problem in school, but that's a different story. So I went cold turkey. I was like, okay, this doesn't make any sense. It cost me like 30 minutes every training session, and I have only 30 minutes left to actually train stuff. That doesn't make any sense, right? And next time I come back, I have to do 30 minutes again. On the contrary, I had to do more because all of a sudden I had to do hip mobility, ankle mobility, shoulder mobility, and whatever mobility was left. Like, so I ended up doing 4 or 5 exercises for 35, 40 minutes as a warm up. That's ridiculous for somebody who wants to spend as little time as possible in training and do a lot of other stuff, but still want to be like fucking really strong. Right. So I went cold turkey. And it wasn't that hard, to be honest, for me.
Okay, gotcha.
But try something for me. So here's how you can see if I'm full of shit, if I'm a scumbag, or if that actually works. Grab something, right? This could be, I don't know, bottle of water. It could be a kettlebell. It could be whatever. Something that fits in between your hands that you can actually squeeze it. Now do 10 squats, like front squats, and give me like 3 seconds at the bottom position, like in a fully relaxed position. Don't hold any tension. You're good. You're not using 300 kilos. You're fine. Give me 10 reps with 10 seconds at the bottom. Test your ability before and after. It's like the poop in a wood squat. Test it before and after and see how it goes. I think this will help you tremendously. And actually make you stronger at the same time. So you don't have to split up banded work and lacrosse balls and all that shenanigans and strength work. You can do just one and maybe learn a little bit of position with tension and save some time, save a lot of energy, and more importantly, finally start seeing measurable progress and not doing stuff that you think you should be doing because everybody is doing it.
Mhm. Okay.
That's it for today.
That's it.
Sweet. All right, guys, that was a fun one. Bring on the questions. If you want more practical examples, bring them on. If you wanna talk about your videos out there, your squat videos, and what you can do, if you want to try out some stuff, send it over. Send questions. Send videos. This is fun. See each other next week.